Hey there, this is Dr. Nirmala from the Wellberry. Today we are going to talk about how you can lose 10 to 12 kilograms easily without having to starve yourself. As always, let me remind you that any dietary or lifestyle changes must be taken after consulting with a nutrition specialist or else with your physician. But before we get into the weight loss principles, let me tell you that this may not apply to everybody. There are certain people who need a little more of a structured program in order to bring their weight under control and also in order to address their various health issues. So, who fall into this category? First, those who have very high insulin resistance. In my previous videos, I have explained how to look out for insulin resistance and what it means to be insulin resistant. Secondly, these principles may not help those who have been on yo-yo diets, meaning people who have been on a diet periodically, either on a calorie deficit diet or some kind of a fat diet. They keep going on and off diets. When they don't get enough results from the diet, then they quit, and after a few months or a year, they try again. This is called yo-yo dieting. These tips may not help those who are currently on a weight loss plateau. That's to say, a person has lost about 10 to 15 kilograms, and for about 6 months after that, their weight is not budging. They are not losing any weight and they are not losing any inches. So, if you don't belong to these three categories and you need to lose about 10 to 12 kilograms, then let's dive right into it and see what you can do in order to achieve your goal. Now, these are tips you can start implementing right away, or if you find it too difficult, you can do it one step at a time. What I can tell you from experience is that following these steps do bear fruit. The first one, and right on top of the list, is to stop sugar. Many of my friends now tease me saying I'm anti-sweet. I am not actually anti-sweet. I am anti-sugar because sugar is known to cause inflammation in the body. What is inflammation? Inflammation means there is injury, and because of that injury, there is swelling. Why would we want to expose our body to constant inflammation? That is why the first thing that we need to do if we are trying to lose weight is cut out sugar. When I talk about sugar, it is white table sugar, brown sugar, jaggery, palm sugar, and coconut sugar. However, the sugar that we get from natural sources like fruits and vegetables, in moderate amounts, these are utilized well by the body and do not cause inflammation. I've done a whole video on how we can stop sugar and avoid sugar cravings. People who have successfully stayed off sugar are able to report that they don't have joint pains, they feel a lot more energetic, and after a few days, they don't get very frequent headaches or migraines. So, like I said, if one substance is causing so much of injury and harm to our body, then why do we continue to put it in our body? What's alarming is that sugar is in almost every packaged product that we buy. Have you seen how much people, especially children, enjoy their chocolate drinks or their malt drinks? And what's the ingredient in it? Sugar or else corn syrup. Corn syrup is even more harmful than table sugar. It's added to foods so that they are preserved for longer. It also enhances the flavor and is addictive because people keep going back for more. Now, if you can't stop sugar at one go, then try it step by step. For example, if you have 4 or 5 cups of coffee or tea in a day, and you have 2 spoons of sugar in each cup, then reduce the number of times you have tea or coffee to 2 times a day, and then reduce it to 1, and then have even that 1 cup of tea or coffee without sugar. If you're in the habit of having a lot of packaged foods like biscuits or cakes or even potato chips for that matter, then try to substitute these items with something that's more natural, like reach out for an apple instead of reaching out for cookies. Reach out for an orange instead of that bag of potato chips. A few years ago, I had a client who used to snack on cookies in the middle of the night. He would wake up hungry, and his go-to food at that time was always a packet of cookies. We spoke about this, and at the time, I did suggest to him, instead of reaching out for those cookies, why don't you have an apple? And that's what he started doing. With this one strategy alone, he was able to lose about 5 kilos. The next thing we need to avoid if we want to lose weight is refined starches. In India, that means we're looking at maida and even corn flour. Maida, all-purpose flour or corn flour, These are in almost all the packaged products that we consume. Breads, for example, even breakfast cereal, and then the bakery items that we tend to binge on. I have also read reports about restaurants using maida in their dosa and idli batter. Highly refined starches have absolutely no nutritional value, and hence it's putting calories into our body, and these are calories which the body is unable to utilize. The next thing we need to remember if we are trying to lose weight is to have adequate amount of vegetables and protein in our diet. I have done a video earlier where I've explained the importance of protein in a low carb diet and how to calculate the amount of protein that's required for our bodies. We need to remember that protein is important for every organ in our body, be it our brain, muscle, bones, heart, and we cannot survive without having enough protein. If we don't include adequate amount of protein with our meals, the body is going to be starved of protein and it's going to try and get this protein by breaking down our muscle. Muscle breakdown is not good for anybody because it slows down the metabolism and it's actually counterproductive when we are trying to lose weight. Proteins also aid in weight loss because it helps us stay full after a meal. What we don't realize is that meat is not only rich in protein, it's also rich in minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium. These minerals are very essential for our brain, our nerves, our bones, and muscles. Now, coming to vegetables. Vegetables have high amount of fiber. Fiber helps to keep us full and we don't keep reaching out to starchy foods. In addition, fiber helps to feed the good bacteria in our gut. If our gut is healthy, then the rest of us also remains healthy. There are also some vegetables that are high in protein content. That means they have a higher percentage of protein per 100 grams. Some of these vegetables are spinach, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and avocado. So for us, it's important to think about the kind of vegetables we are including in our meals. It's not just for the fiber, but it's also important for the protein content, minerals, and vitamins present in the vegetables. The fourth tip that I have for you is to stop snacking. Most of us are in the habit of picking up something periodically and nibbling on it. A few potato chips here, a biscuit there, a little bit of bhujia or mixture once in a while. We are usually not conscious of how nutritious these food items are, and yet these are calories which go into our body and get stored as fat. I also know that today, with the kind of work-related stress that people have, they're always sitting at their computers. They have deadlines, they have presentations to prepare for the next day. And it's so easy to just sit at the table and keep reaching out for something and nibbling on it while you continue to work. The other reason why snacking has become so easy today is because of all the delivery apps that we have at our disposal. So today all that we need to do is pick up our phone, browse, and then order. It's delivered to our doorstep within half an hour. Another big group that falls into this category are the fizzy drinks. All the colas, the fruit-flavored fizzy drinks, the Tetra Pak juices, all these are laden with sugar. They have absolutely no nutrient in them, though they say enriched with vitamin C and things like that. But these are not nutrients that can be absorbed by our body and utilized by the body. I know of people who have 5 colas in a day, 7 colas in a day. What's that doing to our body? Let's look at it this way. If we have excess money, what do we do with it? Now, don't say we go shopping. That's not what I'm talking about. What we do with excess money usually is to go and put it in the bank so that we save it up. Now, that's the same thing that our body does with calories that it cannot utilize. It saves it up. And where best to save these calories? It's within the fat cells of the body. Then the fat cells start expanding, and this is what leads to obesity or being overweight. The next thing we need to do if we are trying to lose weight is to see whether there is any food intolerance or food allergy. If you notice that you are feeling very full or bloated after eating a certain food item, in all probability, there is an intolerance to that food. Some of the most common intolerances that we see are gluten intolerance and lactose intolerance. Gluten intolerance means that the person is unable to process gluten-rich foods. Most of the gluten-rich foods in our diet come from wheat. So we're talking about chapatis or rotis, parathas, or even semolina or rava. Sometimes it's bloating. Some people even experience diarrhea after eating these products. Lactose intolerance means people cannot have milk or milk products. If a person experiences bloating or diarrhea after drinking something that has milk in it, or some people may not even be able to have things like cheese or butter because they are dairy products, we need to sit back and analyze what food product on our plate is causing us discomfort. Usually, this works by eliminating. So, first we stop milk and wheat, and then we try to assess whether having stopped these items helps us to feel more comfortable in our stomachs. Food intolerance is a big hurdle when we are trying to lose weight. And my final tip for weight loss: try to identify, are you actually hungry or thirsty? Many a time we tend to snack thinking we are hungry, but actually, if we just have a glass of water at that time, the hunger may die down. Our body needs water, otherwise, it leads to dehydration. And for every system in our body to work normally, water is essential. The best way that we have enough water is to drink according to thirst. And like I said, sometimes when we think we are hungry, we may actually just be thirsty. Have you noticed that throughout this video, I have not said that you need to eat less in order to lose weight? In fact, you need to eat enough so that you feel full and that your body has enough number of calories to do its daily functions. Did you also notice that I didn't say you need to work out every day for 2 or 3 hours? Working out is important in order to strengthen our muscles and bones. It's also good to be able to use the energy that's stored up within our body. When it comes to weight loss, it's what we eat that matters. We need to be able to understand our bodies and eat intelligently if we need to lose weight. It's only when we do this that exercise actually complements our efforts. So let's have a recap. What are the 6 tips to losing about 10 to 12 kilograms of body weight? First, stop sugar. Second, stop highly refined starches like maida, cornstarch and all-purpose flour. Third, have good amount of vegetable and adequate protein with each meal. Fourth, stop snacking on foods that have no nutritive value. Fifth, look out for food intolerances. And the 6th and final point, drink enough water. Don't mistake thirst for hunger. I hope you find these tips useful to helping you lose weight. Until next time, this is Dr. Nirmala signing out, and remember, wellness begins with your plate.